Oh, what is good, everybody? Halo Infinite Season 3 has been out for a few weeks. It's time, now that the honeymoon is over, to circle back and talk about the good and the bad with this update. Plus, I want to get your insights and feedback on this update, find out what you're enjoying and what you aren't. Let's start with the Bandit Rifle. Now, the Bandit feels fantastic on keyboard and mouse, and I don't think it feels fantastic on the controller. And it's pretty funny, playing this game with friends on both controller and on mouse, and I've been playing both inputs myself, I can pretty much align with this feedback. When I'm playing on mouse, which is the gameplay you're seeing today, it really does feel good. It's one of the first weapons, I think, in the Infinite sandbox that really has an advantage on the mouse side. The red reticle range doesn't really matter, and this is a weapon at mid and even long distances, depending on your aim and your sensitivity on mouse, you can really land some shots with. When you're on controller, however, I find myself scrambling for a BR, a commando, heck, even the assault rifle, depending on the distance to the enemy. It just doesn't have the satisfying feeling that I think a lot of people have been praising the weapon as. I mean, the first few days, everybody was like, yeah, this is the Halo 5 Magnum style weapon we've been missing. And I'm over here just like, man, this thing doesn't have the D-scope mechanic and doesn't feel nearly as satisfying as that Halo 5 Magnum. But then you hop onto mouse and it's a different story. So this is a very tricky situation, I think, for 343. How do you balance a weapon that has an inherent, comfort level on mouse that's higher than that of on the controller? And where do they see the Bandit sitting in the sandbox moving forward? I do agree that a Halo 5 Magnum style weapon in the Infinite sandbox would be really interesting. Watching BR fights has gotten a bit old, and it doesn't have the same level of skill ceiling that the Halo 5 Magnum had. It doesn't mean I want to see the BR gone from the game, but it does mean that I would like to see something added into the sandbox that can emulate some of the fun, or at least evoke, that Halo 5 Magnum style of a weapon. And I'm wondering, can they just add in an H5 Magnum style gun the way that they did in Halo 5, right? Remember when they added like the Halo CE pistol or the Halo 2 BR into Halo 5? I would love to see them explore an entirely new weapon to the sandbox for Halo Infinite rather than trying to completely overhaul the existing sandbox to tune for it. I think the Bandit Rifle could use D-scope, could use some changes to maybe make it a little bit more comfortable on controller, maybe push out that red reticle range if the weapon gets D-scope, but I don't think I would put all my eggs in that basket. It would be a really cool bonus, I think, for the game if we started seeing some of those classic weapons coming back in the way they did with Halo 5. Imagine that event. The Halo 5 Magnum is in Halo Infinite, and it's, probably slightly different and tuned for the sandbox, but I think that's the route that I would go. Overall, the Bandit, it's a weird one. If you're on controller, probably not a weapon I'm gonna stick around with. On mouse, yeah, it's pretty rad, especially on BTB. Speaking of BTB, let's talk about that new map Oasis. It's great. I really like it. I think it's a great Halo map, and I've had a ton of fun playing on it. That unlimited BTB mode, or at least the feature playlist for this last week, I know it's swapping out today when I'm recording this. It was great too, and I enjoyed getting to try the Bandit and the AR starts. That was pretty rad. But I'm also not sure why the skill-based matchmaking feels so sweaty in that featured playlist. It didn't deter me, but man, I'm telling you what, I was matching up with so many Onyx players, and I haven't played this game very much the last few months, so it definitely is a huge difference. If you go queue regular BTB and then the featured mode, it's another world when it comes to how tight that SBMM, at least how it felt for me in that area. Now, one of the things that has occurred since my initial video on Season 3 is I've had plenty of disconnects and crashes. In fact, I've had more disconnects in Season 3 probably than I did in Season 2. And I gotta say, at this point, the disconnects and the crashes shouldn't be happening this much. And there really isn't enough communication on this front. I understand that it's an always ongoing patch note, that they're improving performance and stability, but can we, just address the fact that this game crashes more than any other previous Halo game, or you get DC'd more than any other Halo title? I don't have the objective, analytical data to back it up, but I'm sure that they do. I'm sure they have the spreadsheets to indicate it. We're pretty far into Infinite at this point, and it seems like they're really getting the wheels greased for content deployment. I mean, it's been pretty quick so far with Season 3 and their responsiveness. But the one area that just doesn't seem to move very much is the disconnects, the crashes, and some of the performance and networking issues. They really feel like they are hard stalled, and it does kind of feel like this game is held together with duct tape at times. So I hope they can do something to at least communicate, hey, we recognize this is happening, and it's going to be fixed at this date. The truth is, I don't know if they know when they're going to see that stability when it comes to disconnects and crashes improving. So I'm just, another voice in the sea of people saying, hey, it's been long enough, let's see this resolve. Talking about the arena maps, Chasm and Cliffhanger. Chasm, after playing it a handful more times, it is a weird map. This is one of those maps that falls into the category of like a boardwalk for me from Halo Reach, where it's visually beautiful and really cool, but it ultimately feels like a strange map in the pool. I think Halo needs maps like these, things that are unique, but on the whole, it's not something I hope comes up in the rotation for myself very often. Cliffhanger, the other arena map, visually fantastic. I think it's a pretty rad map. Design-wise, it's cool-ish, and it definitely directs flow and traffic through to the center. I don't think the objective game types play that well, but Slayer seems to be just fine, and some of the more fun game types like Escalation Slayer are also pretty fun on this thing. Season 3 thus far has been pretty positive. I will say that, it will not bring anybody back, I think. This is not the moment that everybody's gonna be like, okay, it's saved, it's fixed, yeah. But I do think it is a significant turning point if they can start nailing these 3-4 month seasons and then consistently updating the game within those seasons. If they really address performance head on, the networking performance, the disconnects, the crashes, and there is a substantial shift there, and then they start implementing these regular updates, they bring new weapons and gear to the sandbox, we're not having another 10-month season or whatever, then I do think we have reached a real crux, a real transition into whatever the future of Halo Infinite's timeline is. It's pretty fun when I hop on to play, but again, it's still far from what I had hoped, a live service free-to-play Halo game would be at this time. This is a good start, but there's a long way to go. You can say that about a lot of the live service FPS offerings these days. Anyway, let me know what you think about these items. I want to know your feedback and insights. How's the season treating you so far? Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again very soon.